Being able to sense all those around him, it was thanks to this skill that he was able to survive countless near-death situations during the war. However, even if others were to have this ability, it would be useless in the hands of someone unable to exploit it. Fex threw out stiff and straight fast blows with the fist, but knowing what he was going to do beforehand, Leo was able to block all of the attacks. What? But I was sure I increased the speed quick enough so he wouldn't be able to block it, Fex thought. Then, when Leo prepared for a kick, he could still see where Fex was planning to dodge. Using his other foot, he was able to shift his weight and change direction. It landed right in Fex's face, but Leo didn't stop there since he knew the damage was minuscule. He continued to kick in rapid successions, aiming for where Fex would be at each time. Can he read my mind? What's going on? Fex asked himself out of frustration. Even he was unable to comprehend what was happening. When the kick stopped for a breath of a second, Fex thought he had finally gotten a break, but before he could do anything, another kick was aimed at him from above, an axe kick which slammed down on the back of his head as hard as he could. The blow was harder than Fex thought it would be, so he was unable to prepare himself in time. His legs gave in, and his head bounced off of the ground. He laid there, lying lifelessly on the floor. "Did Leo just kill him?" a student said. "Isn't that going too far for a simple student?" Before Leo himself had realized it, he had been too consumed by his past memories. It had affected his usual clear mind. However, he knew the student was safe since his aura was still burning brightly. Fex slowly started to get up, pushing his body up with his arms, with his nose slightly bent. "Unfortunately, I didn't expect to meet such a skilled student, hence I might have taken the fight a little too seriously," Leo said. "Just think that you were lucky. If I was using a sword in this match, you wouldn't be alive." Standing on the sidelines, Quinn was a little worried. This loss might have hurt Fex's pride, causing him to go on a rampage. If that happened, he didn't know what to do. But then, Fex's next action surprised him. "Thank you for the battle, teacher. You have taught me how useful your martial arts truly are," Fex said as he bowed down and walked off of the stage. "Wait," Leo said. "Please tell me, where did you learn to fight like that?" Leo had wanted to fight Fex after realizing that he and Quinn carried the same aura. Quinn excited him by showing amazing growth each time, and he had expected Fex to be the same. Yet, Fex was different. He was a few levels above Quinn. "As you can see, my ability is only level 1. My family has always been weak, so we decided to train in the form of martial arts to help build a good foundation," Fex answered. After hearing this, the students quickly remembered that Fex was only a level 1. When they witnessed how good he was at fighting, some of them had the idea of recruiting him for the next portal outing. Still, no matter how skilled he was at fighting, it wouldn't help him against beasts. Unlike Leo, who had the power of the beast gear helping him, they all felt like Fex could never obtain a piece of equipment that high in level. It was a strange situation. He could be useful if he had high-level equipment, but he would have to be strong enough to get the high-level equipment in the first place. The only way they felt like Fex could move up the ladder was to swear loyalty to a faction or the military, helping him raise his ability to the point where he could get the appropriate gear, and only then would he become someone who would be a threat. Of course, Fex's ability wasn't level 1, but due to the watch being unable to detect a vampire's MC points, it displayed level 1. As Fex walked back to the crowd, he quickly snapped his nose back into place. He also had bruise marks all over his body, but they would soon heal, so there wasn't much to worry about. With the 2 demonstrations over, it was time for Leo to start the class. Everyone was asked to spread out so they would have space of their own in the room. The first thing Leo started to demonstrate was the kicks. He proceeded to demonstrate different types of kicks one by one, and the rest of the class would follow step by step. It felt a bit awkward at first, and most of the students who had never done such a thing found it quite difficult. However, Quinn's body was more flexible and agile than most, allowing him to perform the moves quicker and learn them faster than the others. Leo could see this, and once again was impressed with how Quinn was performing. Then, when he looked at the other person he was interested in, he felt a little disappointed. Fex had decided not to bother learning the kicks properly. It wasn't because he thought they were useless or not helpful. He just found out firsthand how good the techniques were, but it was because vampires were very traditional. If they were to alter their arts or try to use something else, they would not be happy with him at all. While performing the different sets of kicks, Quinn started thinking. While punching, he was able to combine the blood spray with it. While throwing his fist, he used the blood swipe. Perhaps there might be some way to combine the blood swipe with his kicks, creating a new skill of his own, although he would have to wait to practice this on his own later. Leo had demonstrated a total of 3 different kicks. One was the roundhouse kick, which was a kick that came out from the side. The other was using their dominant foot. Then they also had to practice the kick using their subdominant foot. The third kick was the axe kick performed at the end, lifting the leg upward and then down using your heel to hit the enemy. Once he had finished demonstrating all the kicks, it was time for them to test them out against each other. Leo asked the group to get into pairs and spar with each other. However, they were only allowed to perform these 3 kicks with each other while only blocking using their legs or dodging. This was Quinn's chance to approach Fex, as he could see he was all on his own, since no one wanted to pair up with him. It was clear from the start that no one would want to go up against Fex, and this time it wasn't just because he was a level 1. He had put on an impressive performance, and it was clear that if they were to go up against him, they would stand no chance. If they lost to him in a spar, a level 1, they would become the laughingstock of the whole room, and the incident would spread throughout the entire school. Seeing this, it was Quinn's chance to approach Fex. He was in a public place with students loitering around, so he wouldn't be able to try anything funny, and if he did, for whatever reason, go out of control, there was one person in the room who could deal with him. That was Leo. While Fex was looking around the room for Erin, he noticed that she had already teamed up with Layla, and had lost his chance to get close to her. Although he noticed a smell gradually coming towards him, one he was familiar with, the other vampire in the room. Fex was still unsure who exactly was this person, but to be sent to the base on his own, he would have to be a high-ranking member of their family, or maybe in a similar situation to Fex himself. The other crazy thing, though, was he didn't know who Fex was himself, one of the possible heirs to the 13 families, someone nearly all the vampires knew. But some were sent on missions from a young age who had yet to return, so it was understandable if a few people had never seen him before. For those reasons, Fex had decided to offer a helping hand, hoping not to sour the relationships between the families. The families didn't usually get involved with each other's business unless the head elder asked. Hence, he was careful not to be nosy. "I guess you already know what I am," Quinn said while looking at Fex, keeping his fist closed, ready for things to turn at any second. "Do you know who I am?" Fex asked. Thanks to the system's inspect skill, Quinn did know. "Fex Sanguinus, correct?" When Quinn answered, he was unsure what to say at first. If he said his name, would Fex get suspicious of how Quinn knew?
Hi, Quinn here. Wondering what happens next? If you want to jump the queue and unleash all episodes, click on the link here and install the Pocket FM app.